Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm at Maddie's house again. But guess what I ran into when I walked into CVS last night? That's right. I had no idea I was gonna bump into the new COVERGIRL TRUBLEND Matte Made. It was on like the new makeup display. And I was like, oh, very limited selection, of course. Probably had like maybe 5 shades on the display. I picked up T10. This is Golden Ore. And I thought from the looks on the bottle in terms of how the shade looked, I thought maybe it could work out. I'm ultra impatient. I wanted to come on here, try it out. We'll also do a wear test. And yeah, excited to see how it goes. I haven't tried a CoverGirl foundation in quite some time. If you are a similar skin tone shade to me, then perhaps this video will help you in deciding as to which shade to purchase. Without further ado, if you want to see how the new CoverGirl foundation applies, looks, and wears throughout the day, then please keep on watching. The sun's a little bright. I have the shade down to kind of diffuse it because it is very bright right now. I am thrilled to try this foundation. It has received a lot of attention as this line, the TRUBLEND Matte Made line, released with 40 shades. 40 apparently is the magic number. Again, this is in the shade Golden Amber. Anything with golden, I tend to lean more towards because just from the looks of it, it's not too yellow, but a little neutral at the same time, which is my jam in terms of foundation undertones. This retails for $11.99 and comes in at 1 fluid ounce. I have the website pulled up here because I wanted to read you what the foundation is designed to do. 12-hour comfort matte, pore minimizing, oil controlling, transfer resistant, all in 40 shades. From your favorite CoverGirl foundation line comes a matte formula that isn't drying or cakey. TRUBLEND Matte Made's formula is developed with a flexi-hold technology that creates a strong yet flexible film on skin for durability and comfort, while the mattifying powders absorb oil and minimizes pores for a soft, matte, flawless finish. Up to 12 hours of wear. Excellent. Maybe this is like the Fenty dupe. I don't know. Because Fenty is supposed to be soft matte as well, oil controlling, and just to keep that grease down. They are 40 shades. CVS do not have 40 shades. And when I went on the website last night to kind of gauge if I needed another shade, it's tough with drugstore foundations because if you don't test it, you can't test it. You have to just kind of judge from how it looks in the bottle. And depending on what light you're under, it could give off an olive look, a pink look, a yellow look. It's hard to tell sometimes. And then they had golden honey, soft honey, natural tan. And I'm like, I don't know which one I am. Judging from what we will see now, we can maybe decide if I need to go with another shade or just combine this with another shade. So let's just get to it, right? Skincare is already on, therefore ready to take on any makeup. Because this is supposed to be oil absorbing and controlling, I'm not going to put on an oil absorbing primer just because I want to see the foundation do its thing on its own. As always, we will apply one side sponge and one side brush to see what leaves the better finish, what looks good, what feels good. Let's crack into this baby. All right. Cap with the pump. We have a glass bottle, plastic pump. Even with a cap, it still has a turn lock mechanism. I'm not sure if you see, but it actually has the same graph that's on the Colourpop plastic pump that indicates closed and open. And as you just saw, has the plastic cap to go on top. So super reinforced closing situation I got going on. I like that a lot. And I think they relabeled a lot of their products. Like this is like the new logo font and how a lot of their complexion products look. I'm gonna take, let's do just one. Let's just do just one. Ooh, that looks very creamy from the get-go. Sorry if it's hard to focus. Like, that's not dripping like the Colourpop foundation, which is a lot more liquidy. I did try this on last night on makeup, so it wasn't a true like, oh. It didn't have like a bad smell, but it just smells like a non-fragrant, perfumey Dior foundation. But there's something there. Can't quite put a label on it. Let's first apply with the sponge. I forgot what I said when I read the description, the coverage is supposed to be. Okay. That shade match looks pretty spot on. I'm trying to see, I'm looking in person and I feel that it matches my skin very well. However, I do see my blemishes are still peeking through like, whoa, going directly in with the sponge, and maybe we could apply more coverage to those areas. This is with the sponge, and again, I understand that it does take away product, so it's not going to leave as much coverage as a brush would. But that's why we're doing both sides differently, just to kind of gauge how we feel about that. I'm going to do a half pump more to what I already pressed out for the brush side, because I feel like I need a little more to cover this side of my face. You already know. For an immediate comparison based on what I've already tried, it definitely dries down a lot faster than the Colourpop foundation. I feel like the Colourpop foundation stayed dewy for a very long time, even after blending in. Even though it is said to be a matte foundation, it certainly did not feel like that whilst drying. But this dries a lot quicker. I'm trying to see it in comparison to the rest of my body. Yes, it is a pretty good match, because right now, let me raise this up. Well, let's do right, but now I could better see, I feel, the shade match in real life. I think it actually warmed me up quite a bit. What do you guys think? This is without the shade. The sun was coming in very strongly and I thought I needed to put it down, but this is the lighting I need to kind of see what it's doing in real life. I would say it's medium coverage. I'm gonna do another layer, applying just half a pump's worth with the same brush. I'm not going to use the sponge because I really need this foundation to cover my blemishes. It goes on pretty lightly, but once you start blending in, I feel it adds a nice touch of warmth to my complexion. I'm going to bring it down my neck a little bit. Also putting more on my nose and around the nostrils. Cut down on the redness there. Take my sponge to refine any patches that need a little smoothing out, because I feel since we worked the majority of the product into the skin, this won't take it away. It will just kind of smooth out the finish. That's a lot better. I feel like I look a little yellow on camera. Let me see if I lift this up higher. Oh, now it's really bright. What do you guys think? I like the coverage. I like the finish. I guess I'm still deciding how I feel about it. It's hard with first impressions because I felt like I needed to go in twice with the application to get the amount of coverage that I was looking for. The shade I feel is good for now. I'm not sure if this is going to oxidize any, but and I think it matches well-ish with the rest. Ooh, I don't know about that. Let's apply concealer on camera just to see what that does. I do have the Colourpop in medium dark 32, but I managed to pick up the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define in C10. I will link this video review down below and above as well. I thought this an excellent concealer given the price, $6. That is also the same as the Colourpop concealer. And since we're here, here's what the Conceal and Define looks like from Makeup Revolution. And here is the shade from Colourpop. Colourpop, definitely more yellow. Makeup Revolution, a lot more pink. But it ends up not looking so... Well, it does look super pinky on my skin, but I did like how it highlighted. So, I don't know. I'm gonna take, maybe slap it on there, see what that does. You know, a little mixology. Blend that in. I could have sworn I used C10 for my under eye shade, but I could be wrong. Maybe it was C12. But I thought C12 was my like skin shade. Oh no. All these numbers, I get confused. I feel that evened it out quite nicely. Let me back it up. It added some nice brightness to the skin. I feel that it leveled out the maybe yellowish tint the CoverGirl was giving me. I will wear this for, I would like to wear this for at least 7 to 8 hours. Right now it is, I'm going to show the time. I remembered for last time. Right now it is 10:47. You know, the day's still young. Put this on until like 7:30 to get the light because, of course, I'm not home. I won't have an alternate light source to work with. So I have to make sure that I catch it while I can when it's out. You know what I mean? For setting, I'm going to use Colourpop No Filter Setting Powder in Translucent. There is a thorough review on the Colourpop Foundation, Concealer, and Translucent Powder on my channel. Excuse me. I just remembered I have been applying my loose powder with a big fluffy brush, but like habit took over and I just started dipping my sponge in. And I haven't baked with this yet, so I thought, why not try it out today? Oh, that's nice. That's very nice and smoothing. I like what that did. I am going to take the rest of the powder with my beauty sponge and just set the rest of my face. I know this is matte, but I feel still powdering would just kind of reinforce the staying power of the foundation. Unless you're super dry, then of course I wouldn't take this step. But if you are oily and had experienced oil-free and oil-controlling foundations that still need a little boost from a powder, then definitely take this step. All right, that is that. Let's see. We did the foundation. It feels lightweight. I don't feel there's anything on my skin, despite the fact that we did 2 doses. There is some there. I do like the texture. I'm still debating on if this is life-changing or not. I get that the appeal is, it is a drugstore foundation. CoverGirl has been around forever, at least the 40 shades, and it's just an opportunity for those who can't drop $30 on one bottle of makeup, that they have an opportunity to maybe find their shade at a more inexpensive price point. But looking at it now after powdering, I don't know. I don't feel it's a texture to die for. I'm totally sorry I didn't show you a close-up right after I applied it, but I'm not sure if you can see, like, there's just a little patchiness going on here on this section of my face, and I feel it could be more even in terms of how it laid down. I'm not totally crazy about it. I have not set with spray yet, and maybe like some foundations like the Hourglass one looks better over day when it just kind of melts into your skin. Maybe I have to just give it a second to marinate and get cozy with my face, and perhaps after that I will like it better. But for now, I'll do the rest of my face and take it from there. Alright, makeup is on. How do you like my eye look? I use the Holiday Morphe 39A palette, and I dabbled in these olive shades because I was feeling really sulky about not getting the Gemini palette. I don't know if that's coming back in stock, but just to kind of fulfill my need for olive tones and try to recreate the look I would do if I had the Gemini palette. There, you like it. Anywho, here is how the foundation is looking now with bronzer, with highlighter. I sprayed on some setting spray, some Max Fix Plus. I do feel better about how the texture looks now after everything has been set and blended. I am looking forward to see how it sits on my skin throughout the day, if it reacts in terms of texture, in terms of shade. It is said to be 12 hours. oil controlling and matte, and I'm very curious to see how well my nose area holds up because you know she gets real greasy really fast. But yeah, man, so I'll be back on here after 8 hours. I will like, you know, preferably when the sun is still out so we can see what the skin is doing, how the foundation is holding up. And until then, I'll see you soon. Welcome back, friends. Now 7:20. It is now 7:22 p.m. We are in the 8-9 hour mark. A little mascara on my under eyes. The nose is shiny. Typical in terms of what to expect after 8 hours of foundation wear. I didn't go much outside. Friday is my day off and going on a tangent, get ready. As a group fitness instructor where you share energy constantly with several people at once, when I have my days off, I just stay inside. I don't talk to anyone. Take a day to just chill. I don't want to get on the train. I don't want to go there. I don't want to have to be anywhere. That's why I pretty much stayed home all day, except to walk Maddie, of course. That's important. And to get food, also important. And the times I did go outside, it was cloudy. It wasn't very sunny. Cool breeze throughout the day. The humidity was very low, and I think even if I wore this out, the weather wouldn't have a direct cause for the foundation to break down faster if it weren't very hot and humid, you know what I mean? Here's a close-up of my nose. Of course, you see foundation here, and then it kind of gradiates into nothingness. Face is all right. I unfortunately did this at some point during the day and I was like, oh, why did you do that? So the coverage there I feel is minimal. Here as well, you see my blemishes peeking through. I think my face makeup still looks pretty okay. Not as saturated as it was when I first applied it earlier. My highlight is pretty intact. Again, not a lot here. My under eyes are a little, the mascara that I used today was the Voluminous, L'Oreal Voluminous in waterproof, but nothing holds up on me. I don't know what it is. I did run out of my Giga Black Extended Play, and I think this is my holy grail for lower lashes. This does not get on my skin like the Voluminous does. The Too Faced Waterproof gets on my skin as well. That's just another video. I will be repurchasing the Extended Play right away. Other than that, if I were to compare this to the Super Stay from Maybelline, I prefer the Super Stay in terms of its coverage from the first application. I felt that I needed to do 2 with the Matte Made from CoverGirl, and I wasn't blown away by the application, and I'm not blown away by how my skin looks. This is very typical of after 8 hours of wear. I definitely feel I was more impressed with Colourpop's staying power. I felt like the rest of my face makeup was more intact. Even though my blemishes still peek through, I felt that I had a little more coverage overall than the CoverGirl. Now, this isn't to say it's a bad foundation. And I powdered and I did 2 applications. I felt like for $12 is not bad. It's definitely matte, and my skin pretty much I feel still looks, I would say it is definitely soft matte. I didn't feel that the portions that looked patchy before when I pointed them out, that they don't look patchy anymore. I changed my nail color. You like it? These portions look smoother. The setting spray I felt really helped, and also just my skin oils mixing in throughout the day. I know that's gross, but that's basically what happens. Finessed the foundation a little bit and kind of made it more skin-like. I thought the color match was great. I think Golden Amber is definitely a good match for me. I am open to trying another shade, but I'm not inclined to get another because although I liked the foundation and how it looks, I'm not blown away by it. Again, I'm blown away by Hourglass. I think I was blown away by the Maybelline Super Stay. I think I was in terms of its coverage. I think it's definitely more coverage, as I said before. I was also blown away by the Colourpop foundation because of its lighter consistency but better coverage power. And just as a stay tuned, I did also pick up the new Maybelline Super Stay Multi-Use Foundation Stick. And the only reason, excuse me, why I'm waiting to review this foundation is because I want to compare this side by side to the liquid formula. And she's at home, so we gotta wait until I get home and then we could do that video. Other than that, I'm glad I still used this foundation and tried it out. I think it's definitely a solid formula for a drugstore foundation and for a $12 price point. If you like full coverage, you might have to go in with 2 doses. I think it's great that they have 40 shades. You will definitely find a shade for you. Hopefully, I don't know. I guess the one downfall is that it being a drugstore foundation, generally drugstores don't have an extensive selection of all the shades for a lot of their foundation lines. And I know the CVS that I visited yesterday had it just on a very small new makeup display. 5 shades out of the 40, right? And then, of course, hard to decipher the shades on your computer screen. You kind of have to play guess. I try to look for swatches online because I thought it would help me kind of figure out what their idea of yellow undertone is or pink undertone. They didn't have the descriptions on their website. They just had the shade name. And I wish they had, beside T10, they had medium dark with a golden undertone. Because then I feel as a consumer, when you read all those descriptions, you can better guess what your foundation shade could be. Even though the Colourpop comparison chart had a little bit of misses, because a lot of you had mentioned that their comparisons were definitely not spot on in terms of what you had and what they were suggesting, recommending. I felt it would still be helpful if companies did comparison charts or even just had description along with the shade name. We have the shade name. T, I'm assuming stands for tan, D for dark, M for medium, L for light. That we could just have a description of what their undertone is. And with that, I could look into what honey looks like, what soft honey looks like versus natural honey versus golden honey. That is, I think, the hugest con. Even though it is a drugstore foundation and fairly inexpensive, very tough to figure out what your shade is, especially if you are not near a retail space that has all the shades and has testers. The only place I could probably think that they have several shades is maybe Ulta. I'm not even sure, because the last time I was in Ulta, I didn't even see these foundations. I just missed them because I got distracted by the Colourpop stand. Let me know down below if you have the new CoverGirl TrueBlend Matte Made, what you think of it, if you have a T10 in Golden Amber, how that shade match is for you. Reviews are not the end all or be all. It's just a person's experience and just to provide insights. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't buy this or you shouldn't check it out. If you have an opportunity to snap a sample, I know it's very difficult snapping samples from a drugstore foundation. But if that opportunity arises or you're really curious about it and you have the $12 to spend, then sure, try it. I will definitely use a brush and not a sponge if you want fuller coverage. And even with the brush, I still think you have to go in 2 times. Definitely powder if you're oily still, even though it is soft matte. If you're normal to dry, I would still powder around the T-zone area very lightly, especially around the nose if you get oily there. You are dry and it is a soft matte formula. I don't think you need to powder because you saw the consistency is fairly thick, and I had to work quickly because I felt if I let it hang out on my face too long, it would just stay there on my fingerprint press shape. Not good. But yeah, friends, let me know, like I said, what you think down below, and that is a wrap. Thank you, friends, so much for watching. I hope this video helped, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And until then, I'll see you on here again with another Get Ready With Me review, wear test, demo, or review. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.